Jeff Teague was talking about the Pistons and Cade, and he feels like they could upset the Pacers. He feels like they could upset. Um, I think he said the Pacers, the Bucks, and I can't remember the last team. I think he said the Knicks more that he could upset them because he kind of drew the parallel of Derrick Rose kind of having a coming out party in the playoffs against the Celtics. He thinks Cade Cunningham could have that same effect because the Pistons don't have anything to lose. They're just kind of happy to be there. Do you kind of agree with Jeff Teague's assessment of the Pistons being that underdog playoff team, doesn't have anything to lose, and they could kind of play spoiler for some teams that expect to go deep in the playoffs?
Absolutely. I think I said that exact. I said the Pistons are a team that I think could steal a playoff series. I think I said that back in December, right? And that was before they really went on this crazy run in the beginning of 2025. Like, I just think they don't know how to quit, like, at all. Like they are a team that will play you tooth and nail for the full 48. And that's something that, like, it sounds cliche and it sounds like something that, like, every team says about, or every team wants, but it doesn't happen for a lot of teams. Like, a lot of teams don't really have the drive, no pun intended, that the Pistons do. And I just feel like they also have some guys that I feel like are real playoff risers or have the potential to be. And Cade Cunningham is one of them. I've said this since before he was in the NBA. Once he's in that playoff atmosphere, he's really going to shine. I feel like he's built for that. I feel like he is literally like he's an all-star, right? And I think most NBA fans think positively of Cade Cunningham, but I think he really reaches that next level of superstardom when he plays playoff basketball. Like, you think of Anthony Edwards in 2000 and I think 21, 22. It might have been 22. Yeah, 22. Where he really just became like a star overnight, because obviously everyone saw the dunks and everyone knew of him, but he really became a star once he hit the playoff scene. And I feel like that's waiting for Cade Cunningham. Like, he has a vintage moment kind of loading, and I feel like all he needs is the stage. I think Isaiah Stewart also is a huge playoff riser. I can see him being one just because of the defense he plays, and also just the way he is. He's going to become he kind of already is becoming one, but he's going to be a household name by the end of the playoffs. Like, no doubt in my mind. I think Jalen Duren played pretty well in the in-season tournament game. I know it didn't go that well, but I thought he played pretty well. And I think Asar, although he's had a bit of a quiet stretch lately, I think he's someone that I could see playing really great defense in a playoff atmosphere. I like the young core, honestly. Like, I truly believe in their ability, and I believe in their ability to shine in important situations. Like, I feel like they've gone through so much adversity that at this point, like, they are chomping at the bit to just prove someone wrong. Like, they just, and excuse my French, they kind of just want to shut everybody the fuck up, right? Like, that's kind of the feeling I get. Like, they have this chip on their shoulder that they are not the Pistons of last year. They're not the Pistons that everybody, makes fun of. Like, they are a young team that wants their respect, and you can see them getting frustrated with the lack of respect that they've gotten. And I feel like this is a young core that's really ready to shine in the playoffs. And like he said, like, they have nothing to lose. Like, they are literally just here to make the opposing team's life hell. And I know the team that they're going to play is going to be probably higher seeded than them unless they somehow get to the 4th seed. They want to show that you're not better than us, right? Like, you might have a higher seed, but you're not better than us. And everybody who thinks that you are, like, fuck you. Like, we're going to do our own thing.
Yeah, I think, like, if you look at the top seeds in the East, a lot of people just like, yeah, Pistons might be a fun playing team this year, and they kind of shattered those expectations because they've been in the 6th seed for quite a long time, and have played some pretty competitive basketball, have stepped up their defensive rating. I think they still have like the #1 defensive rating since like the new year, which is crazy, kind of given like the Wizards game and everything like that. But I look at Cade, and I know some some people think that he might just kind of get trapped and doubled in the half court, but you look at a lot of this young core, like Jalen Duren, like Isaiah Stewart. Like, I think Ron Holland, to me, is a big X factor come the playoffs, because I think JB is going to shorten his rotation a little bit. I think guys like Simone might actually kind of like see his role diminish a little bit. And I would expect Ron Holland to, be kind of like that energy boost off the bench to, help the team, push the pace, run, because this is a team that really likes to run in transition and create opportunities that way offensively. But like, I'm really hoping we get the Knicks. I'm really hoping we get them, because I feel like we match up so well with them.
I was going to say Ron Holland is a great one that I wanted to mention a little bit more. It's just like, I feel like he's had a season where he's had moments, right? Like he doesn't really have a huge role on the team. He comes in, he plays his role pretty well. He's that gritty defensive guy. He'll get his buckets in transition where he can. He'll stick up for his teammates. He really just feels like they're rookie, right?
Mhm.
I feel like he's another player that I can see kind of having a moment in the playoffs if he gets the opportunity, just because you've seen so much growth in such a short amount of time that I feel like his confidence would not be wavered by a playoff atmosphere at this point. Because if you think back to that Milwaukee game, not the in-season tournament one, but before that, where the game came down to his free throws, right? And you could see he was visibly shaken, missed both free throws, and was clearly beating himself up over it. Ever since then, it feels like Ron Holland has evolved, and it feels like he has taken every single step that he has needed to take in order to become a better basketball player every game, every day. And I feel like he's someone who, especially lately, like the minutes you see from him, I feel like have been really impressing me. His finishing, his touch around the rim has been incredible. The way he gets his own bucket, regardless of who's in front of him, was really impressive. I think even the last game they played where he had to guard, who was it? Who did they just play? I'm completely blanking.
OKC.
OKC, yes. He moved Shea like completely, right? Like I remember on a layup, third or fourth quarter, I want to say, just completely moved Shea. I just feel like he's ready for that type of moment, and he's got a big personality too on the court. Like, these are just guys that I really feel like are going to shine in that environment.
Yeah, like his fit. I know we're kind of talking about this like playoff upsets and matchups, but like I've been so impressed with him in the way he can finish around the basket. Like, some of the just acrobatic finishes he has, I was like, there's no way that's going in, and it goes in, and I don't
Yep.
understand it. Like, he's like a tier one athlete in my opinion, and I think for him, I don't even think he's scratching the surface, because I think there's a lot there that the Pistons haven't even like worked with him development wise, where he can really be a guy that in the future you could have a tandem of Sar Thompson and Ron Holland next to Cade Cunningham, which
Yep.
I think is really exciting for Pistons fans in the future. But he's definitely probably going to be my biggest X factor in the playoffs. I think Dennis Schroeder as well, just having that veteran presence. He had a double double. I think he had like 18 and 11 assists after Cade went out. But like, having that veteran backup point guard that can really calm the storm for this team, because at times it seems like they kind of get out of control. If they have a lead, they kind of play with their food a little bit and don't take it
Yep.
seriously and just don't finish their opponents off, which I think having a guy like that, like all the vets on this team, for that matter, they're really going to be on these young guys' ass, because they've never experienced playoff basketball. They don't know, like, one possession can literally decide an outcome of a playoff game. It's not like a regular season game where like maybe you get a steal or some transition opportunities. Like, one possession can really have like a 8-9 point swing.
Yeah, absolutely.